That is family of 4.
Okay, how old are the kids?
My girl, she is 6, and my boy, he is 1.5.
Okay, so the 1.5.
Online, it says refugee is £2 for family.
Do you have something to show me?
We not know we have to bring. We just see online to book.
We have, because there's such a difference in price. We do this to help people.
I understand this. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, thank you. So it'll be £8.
I walked up to the ticket counter at Harewood House and with a straight face told them I was a refugee. No documents, no proof, just my word. And they sold me a family ticket for £8 instead of £68. £60 saved in seconds. This isn't just about one man gaming the system. It's about a country where British taxpayers are funding these attractions while being charged premium rates, all while public borrowing has skyrocketed to £151.9 billion this year, the third highest since records began in 1947. Why are ordinary families being squeezed at every turn? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Did you know that while British families struggle to afford days out, others get massive discounts just by saying a few words? Let's look at what actually happened at Harewood House.
Online, it says refugee is £2 for family.
Do you have something to show me?
We not know we have to bring. We just see online to book. Huh?
No, the normal price is £24.95. So we need to see proof to be able to give you the ticket at £2. We have, because there's such a difference in price. We do this to help people.
I understand this. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, thank you. So it'll be £8.
An ordinary Englishman walked up to the ticket counter at Harewood House, a historic site maintained with taxpayer money. This wasn't just any visit, it was a deliberate test of a system supposedly designed to help genuine refugees. When he approached the counter, he had absolutely zero documentation to prove refugee status. No papers, no identification, nothing that would verify his claim. Yet what happened next exposes a troubling reality in our cultural institutions. Despite having no proof whatsoever, he was immediately offered a family ticket for just £8, a shocking discount from the full £68 price that British families are expected to pay without question. That's an 88% reduction. When pressed about verification, the staff member awkwardly admitted that proof is usually required, but made an exception without hesitation. The video evidence captures this uncomfortable moment perfectly. The realization that they're enforcing a two-tier pricing system that can be manipulated with remarkable ease. This isn't merely about saving £60 on a day out. It represents a fundamental unfairness built into our institutions. British citizens fund these attractions through their taxes, only to be charged premium rates when they visit. The mathematics are particularly galling. Each British family paying full price is essentially subsidising multiple refugee families, while themselves struggling with the rising cost of living. What's especially concerning is that this isn't an isolated incident. This practice extends across numerous British attractions, museums, and historical sites throughout the country. The lack of rigorous verification witnessed at Harewood House suggests a potential for widespread abuse of these generous discount schemes. It raises serious questions about the financial sustainability of these institutions and whether their pricing policies are fair to those who ultimately fund them. The ticketing staff's reaction in the video reveals an uncomfortable truth. They're enforcing a system that discriminates against the very people who fund these institutions. British taxpayers are effectively paying twice, first through their taxes that support these cultural sites, and then through inflated ticket prices that subsidise others' visits. The perceived exploitation is particularly troubling when viewed through the lens of resource allocation. Cultural institutions, often claiming financial hardship, somehow find room in their budgets for these dramatic discounts while continuously raising prices for British families. The generosity extended to refugees, while well-intentioned, appears to have crossed into territory that many taxpayers find deeply unfair. If you've been shocked by the disparity at Harewood House, what's happening with Britain's national finances will leave you gobsmacked. While cultural institutions implement questionable pricing policies, our government has been engaged in a financial calamity of historic proportions.
The UK stats body also revealed how in March alone, the government borrowed more than £16 billion, the third highest level it had ever recorded for the month. In the year to March, the government borrowed over £150 billion to cover expenses. This was nearly £15 billion higher than forecasters had predicted. The National Monetary Fund yesterday said that the UK economy could grow at a sluggish pace of around 1% this year. It downgraded the UK's economic outlook because of soaring energy prices.
In March alone, the government borrowed £6.4 billion. That's money they don't have but are spending anyway, making average Britons shoulder the burden through increased taxes and reduced services. This isn't just an isolated month of fiscal irresponsibility. According to official figures, March's borrowing represents the third highest level since monthly records began. Grant Fitzner, the ONS's chief economist, explains that public sector borrowing increased by nearly £21 billion in the last financial year, driven largely by inflation-related costs including higher pay and benefit increases. Meanwhile, ordinary families are expected to tighten their belts and cope with soaring living expenses. The consequences of this financial mismanagement are severe and far-reaching. Professor Joe Nellis, an economic advisor at MHA, points out that the Chancellor's already limited fiscal headroom of £9.9 billion is under extreme threat. This means virtually no flexibility exists to provide relief to struggling families who are paying full price for everything from groceries to entertainment, while watching others receive substantial discounts. Adding to this financial quagmire, the International Monetary Fund has slashed its global growth forecast for 2025 by 0.5% due to escalating trade tensions. This reduction compounds Britain's already anemic domestic growth forecasts, creating a perfect storm of economic stagnation and government overspending that will inevitably lead to more hardship for average citizens.
And this is all coming as Reeves has set herself strict spending rules, which say that the public budget must not be in the red by 2030. That would see Chancellor Rachel Reeves continue to borrow at high levels in order to fund the NHS, welfare, and other public services. These calculations are made on a range of public finance data points, and at the moment, Rachel Reeves has set herself £9.9 billion of spare room to play with.
While Chancellor Rachel Reeves jets off to Washington seeking an Anglo-American trade deal, the financial situation at home continues to deteriorate. Interest payments on government loans are skyrocketing, further squeezing public finances and making it nearly impossible to balance the books. Fitzner notes that the national debt remains close to the annual value of the economy's output, levels not seen since the early 1960s. What we're witnessing from Harewood House to the Treasury is a consistent pattern of misplaced priorities. The same institutions that plead poverty when it comes to offering relief to hard-working British families somehow find room in their budgets for massive spending elsewhere. The connection is unmistakable, whether it's attraction tickets or government expenditure. There's a systemic bias against those who actually fund the system through their taxes and labour. So what's the takeaway from this eye-opening experiment? Next time you visit a local attraction, take a critical look at their pricing policies. This isn't just about a £60 discount at Harewood House. It's about demanding accountability from those managing our public resources. When politicians claim they can't afford tax relief for working families, remember how easily systems can be manipulated by those who know the right words to say. The real issue isn't refugees receiving discounts, but rather the lack of verification and transparency in how these policies are implemented. Demand more from your elected officials. Ask the uncomfortable questions. After all, it's your money they're spending.